Welcome to Logic Breaks. This is our third episode ever. Today, we will be talking about a fallacy called No True Scotsman. You might notice that on our thumbnail, we have Scotty from the original Star Trek episodes. It's one of my favorite examples. So again, a little joke on No True Scotsman. Maybe your favorite might be William Wallace. Okay, Braveheart version of that, not his actual picture, obviously here. Or one of my favorites, Connor McLeod from the Clan McLeod from Highlander. So I've nerded out enough. Let's get right to it. Let's get back to No True Scotsman. It's basically a fallacy of definition or purity. A person makes a claim, somebody else says, well, yeah, but I have a counterclaim. I have something that doesn't fit your definition. And then they redefine things. So the classic formulation of this is something like this. No Scotsman puts sugar on their porridge. And you say, hey, I know somebody who does. My uncle does, or I do, and I happen to be Scottish. And then the person says, well, no true Scotsman puts sugar on their porridge. So again, what you've essentially done is you shrunk that circle. You had a counterexample that proved you wrong, or that at least there were some exceptions to the ruling that you were making. And you just basically redefine things. Some people refer to this as moving the goalpost. That's not, there are different kinds of ways to move the goalpost, but certainly no true Scotsman is one of those. Some other formulations of this might include something like this. So I happen to live in the Pacific Northwest of the US. And so let's say I do something like Oregonians love beer. And a lot of Oregonians do. There's a whole history of microbrews in this area, just as there are in other places, of course, and home brewing and so forth. So I say Oregonians love beer. Somebody says to me, well, I know I have this friend, Dennis, who hates beer, doesn't like it at all. And you say back to me, well, true Oregonians love beer. So again, what you've done is you've basically shrunk that circle, and you could keep doing this. You know, I could come up with more counter examples, and you could keep going, making that circle smaller and smaller, getting to that idea of purity. Or I could do something like Chicagoans love the Bears, the football team, the Bears. And you could say, hey, you know, my friend Julie, she has nothing to do with the Bears. She doesn't like them at all. Not only is she not a fan, she actually is a fan of football, but she's a fan of the Packers. Now, that would be blasphemy. That would be sacrilege in the Chicago area for a lot of people. But there certainly are some people, and they might be quiet about it at sometimes, but there certainly are people who would be Packers fans rather than Chicago Bears fans. But again, if I say Chicagoans are big fans of the Bears, and you say, well, my friend Julie is a fan of the Packers, you might say what? You might say, well, true Chicagoans are fans of the Bears. And again, you can see how we're moving the goalpost, pun acknowledged, with regard to football. But we're redefining it. Every time I come up with a counterexample, you redefine it rather than, you know, admitting that, hey, maybe there are some examples. Maybe it's not all Chicagoans who love the Bears. It's not all Oregonians who drink beer and so forth. So those are some easy examples. It can get a little bit more political. I'm going to give you some examples. I fear that sometimes with the No True Scotsman, it can be used to reinforce stereotypes at times, whether those are, you know, racial or ethnic stereotypes, religious groups, national identity, political party affiliation. It can be used, I think, to participate in or reinforce stereotypes, maybe also participates in some either-or fallacies as well. So again, I'll give you a more sensitive example. Joe Biden, a couple of years back, when talking about whether, I'm paraphrasing here, when talking about whether people were for Trump or for him, for Joe Biden, said, if you can't figure out whether you're for Trump or for me, you ain't black. So first of all, of course, does he get to make that decision? Who counts as black and who doesn't? And what does that even mean? Does that mean that you have to have a particular political mindset, that you have to have a particular viewpoint, or you don't count as that particular group of people? And again, there are people of all different racial and ethnic backgrounds, religious belief systems, etc., who have different politics, who lean more left politically, who tend to vote for Democrats, who lean more right, who tend to vote for Republicans, moderate, libertarian, etc. So the idea that you must vote for him, otherwise you don't count, to me, don't count in that category called black. To me, that's, again, besides being a reinforcement of a stereotype, also participates in the no true Scotsman fallacy. Let us know what you think. What other examples do you have? What questions do you have? What other things would you like to see us cover in the future? Thanks so much for joining us. See you on the next one.